Hi guys, so this is just an update from the last video. In fact, this is a continuation of the last video. I just recently got another memo from the building. They're sending out email memos now to all of the residents, which is good. It's good. They're keeping everybody informed. But so the news is now, so before, visitors were not allowed in except for staff and medical workers. Um, and also, if in an emergency, right, that was okay. But otherwise, visitors, guests were not allowed in. And even, anyone coming in, whether staff or medical workers, they had to have their temperature taken, and they were asked questions regarding, whether or not they came into contact with anyone who has COVID-19 and so on, which is understandable. I'm glad that the building is taking these precautions. But so we just got another memo saying that these precautions are going to be increased. Now, even residents who come back into the building after going out are going to have their temperature taken, and they're also going to be asked those questions. And what it says is that if their temperature is above 100 degrees, or if for any reason someone believes that an answer to their question might imply that they could be a risk, they're not going to be let in the building, and that includes people who live here. They're not going to be let back in, and the advice is to either go to the hospital or to call their healthcare provider. But see, the thing is, because tests aren't available to everybody, so it's not going to be for most of these people. It won't be known right away whether they have COVID-19, which means and doctors aren't going to give notes clearing you if they can't be sure that you're clear and safe, right? So, which means that any resident who leaves the building has a chance of not being able to get back in. So it's pretty much, even though they're not saying leaving is illegal, they've pretty much made it mandatory to stay within the building, to stay inside the building, because, on the grounds that residents won't be able to get back in if, under certain circumstances. So, it was kind of like that issue with people in America, who had been traveling overseas, where the government said, well, American citizens can come back, except there would be no flights back. So, because all flights would be canceled. So, how would they get back? And that's what caused, the mass influx of all those people coming back at once, from Europe, because they were afraid they wouldn't be able to get back into the country because, even though it would be legal for them to come back in, there wouldn't be any way for them to get back. So, you know, and now of course they're just saying if you travel overseas, expect to stay there, expect to not, come back right away. So anyway, right, I'm not sure it's wrong to say that we're kind of on lockdown now. And don't get me wrong, I do appreciate the building taking extra precaution to keep people here safe. They have to do that. And they're following government guidelines too. But again, what that means is I can't leave. I can't go out again. Yesterday I anticipated that when I went out to try to pay that bill, that would be the last time I was going to be going out for a while. And I was right. I was right. So, again, this just worries me even more because we have to save our resources. We can't just, and I know my last video I was kind of angry. I love my mother very much, and I get angry because I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid that I can't protect her. But, it's infuriating because I do believe she has OCD, and, when someone just has to touch something dirty because they have to touch it, especially if you tell them that, don't touch it, then they have that impulse to touch it even more. So you have to sanitize absolutely everything, especially if they're gonna just rip toilet paper off the roll by the foot. Just rip it off the roll by the foot and throw, and fill up the garbage pail with clean toilet paper. We can't afford to waste that, especially if they just throw out food for any reason. It looks, because it doesn't look quite right, or it doesn't, it's this or it's that, or it's to this or it's to that. Throw out food, throw out water. We can't do that anymore. And I never thought I would find myself in a situation where I was being insensitive to someone who might have, mental illness. But and I'm trying not to be. But in a situation like this, it's very difficult. Uh, right. So we can't. I can't go out. So we're going to try to save whatever resources we have, and I'm going to do what I have to do in order to make sure that happens. And I'm probably not going to be liked for the next few weeks, but we do what we have to do. Anyway, to the rest of you, again, as I said before, take care, be safe. Hopefully you all have shelter and a place to go. Um, Peace.